Are we in a civil war in America? Let's look at that. Let's look at the military occupying streets, what I see with that in the court rulings. Let's look at the flotilla, and will there be a ceasefire in Israel? I also want to say that there is a big rally protest on the 18th of October. So check those out. One near you. It's going to be big. Stay safe if you're participating. And let's do this peacefully, not to give them any reasons. So also we want to look at vote yes on 50. If you're in California, if you're not in California, post it on your social media so that it goes viral so everybody sees yes on 50. Okay? All right. So I also want to answer your questions. So let's look at ceasefire in Israel. And this is the fourth time I've done this video today, so the others didn't come out. Okay, so here I am again. So I already kind of know the answers. I do feel like it's not an ending to the war, but it looks like a ceasefire. And it looks like some hostages will be returned. I see them coming out, and it probably around 15, if not less. I would be surprised at 20, but maybe a couple of them are ambulatory or not deceased, but not really fully conscious. So here's what's going on with that. Country starting with, or Israel. Okay, let's just say, I don't like saying names because it draws the energy to me. I don't like name calling people. Somebody asked me, why am I name calling? I'm not name calling. When in the energy and spirit world where I live, when you say a name, you call that person's energy to you. And it also gets me in the algorithms that I may not want to be in. So, okay, so that's why I use code language when I'm talking. But we'll say the leader of the country, Israel, he has been involved in the Epstein files, him and some of his higher ups, and blackmailing people. And they're all in cahoots with the current president in this country in October 2025. So they're all in cahoots. So what the deal is this: our president, the American president, said, look, my favorability is really low. You need to help me out. I need to get a win. I need to end a war. So he's going to say he ended, even though it's just going to be a ceasefire and hostages return. Looks like it's going to happen. I would say 80% it's going to happen. Probably fairly soon, like maybe a week or two. But so what he did is, like, he went to the leader of Israel, the American president, and said, well, he's not my president, but okay. So went to the leader of Israel and said, look, if I go down, you're going down too, because if they bring out the Epstein files, then you're going to be in it too. So you got to help me out. So that's why he's going to do something. I feel like the leader of Israel is going to do something for a ceasefire. That's why, not because he all of a sudden decided to grow a consciousness or open his heart to love or something. So yeah, so that's what I'm seeing that we can expect with that. A card just jumped out. Yeah, it looks like some type of a new beginning. So that's a win. We'll take a win, hey? Yeah. Let's look at Greta Thunberg and the flotilla, a ship that floated out with supplies for Gaza. And there were many people on the ship, and there were other countries, I think it was Spain and some other countries, protecting and supporting the flotilla. And she is a hero for doing that. She will go down in history as a modern day saint and hero for trying to help people. Well, the leader of Israel and their current president will go down as the dark criminals that they are. So also Nelson Mandela, I believe, grandson was on that ship. What happened is the Israel army fired on them, captured them, took them and put them in prison in Israel. A lot of them were roughed up. Apparently, Greta was forced to kiss the Jewish flag. One lady had her foot broken because her leg got stuck in a door or something. So they're really quite brutal and violent. These are war criminals, and they will be held responsible. I saw that the world will hold him as a war criminal. That country, what they did to the people in Gaza. Even Republicans or some MAGAs are like, stop. Even young people who I know that voted for the current president, they're like, this needs to end. This genocide, starving children and everybody in Gaza. And so it's very unpopular. But here's the good thing. Greta is going to be okay. She will live to fight another day. She kind of knew going in that this might happen, but she did it anyway. So she's really a saint, a hero. Now, what happened that I can say this, and I started saying it a couple of weeks ago because I saw this and I was hoping nobody would wise up that we don't want to. What they did was before they were captured or caught, they floated boxes of supplies and food. I see them floating in the water to hit the shores of Gaza. And I feel like people found them. Some of them drifted a little south, maybe where they're not as much needed, but some of them got in. And so that's a secret. Nobody knows. I saw that psychically. I'm like, yes. So she's going to be okay. She's going to get out of there. And they are going to be held responsible as being war criminals. Okay, that's another reason. Well, no, that's not the other reason. The only reason they're doing the ceasefire, Israel, is so because what's his name's about ready to get names dropped from the Epstein file, and they don't want that to happen. They want him to be able to fight back. So they're helping him with his popularity. Okay, so let's look at the military in the streets in Portland, Chicago. I don't know if they're still in LA, but I believe the mayor of Washington, D.C. let them be there. Yeah, I guess she doesn't get reelected. Let me ask, will she be reelected? The mayor of Washington, she's afraid of them. Will she be reelected? Huh. Yeah. Unfortunately. Well, I don't think she's that bad. I think she's scared of them. She'll have to do some things to get back popular. Okay, so I don't want to beat up on people who are afraid and trying to keep things calm. But so they started landing helicopters and handcuffing, zip tying children and elderly people in the middle of the night and dragging them out of their apartments. I mean, it's really horrific what they're doing. One lady was shot by ICE agents with the military backing them up. A lawsuit in Portland was passed saying that they can't go in there. The judge said no. So they filed, of course, an appeal. And so I'm not sure which court it's going to, the appeals court. I feel like it'll win again. I feel like they're still deciding, but I feel like Portland will win again against this current regime. And I feel like J.D. Pritzker's lawsuit will win. So more like state courts, I don't know what you call them, federal court, they're finding in their favor. But ultimately, this is going to end up in the Supreme Court. And that's what because he wants to take over town so he can declare martial law and there won't be an election, or he can bully and intimidate people from going out to vote. That is not going to happen. All that is not going to happen. They're going to do everything they can try to do to cheat in the midterms, and they are going to cheat. but they're not going to win. We're still going to pull it off. There's going to be lawsuits. There's going to be trouble confirming people, but we are going to take back the Senate and the Congress. Okay. Well, they're all Congress. Sorry, somebody corrected me. I'm not a political person. Okay. I'm a medium, and I'm a psychic and intuitive, but I don't know about politics. But here I am doing my part. Like, remember in World War II, there were a lot of women who did healing, and back then, I guess you could call it spell casting or whatever, to try to help save Europe from the guy named starting with an H. So we're back there again. So I feel like it's my duty, and I'm happy to do that. It gives me purpose and meaning. Hey, please subscribe to my channel if you hadn't. And if you have, check and see if you're subscribed, because they unsubscribe people. Also, like my channel. It really helps support me in the work that I'm doing. So please do that. And leave any questions for Wednesday's show in the comments, and I will check them out. All right. So let's see. What will the Supreme Court rule on? What I was seeing, let's see if I'm right in the cards, confirm it. What I was seeing was that Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett will join with the more liberal justices in saying that they can't send the military into cities anymore. Now, they're going to try to make it like either we don't want to rule. They're going to say, yeah, well, they shouldn't do that. And then those two are going to help them to all say, well, we're just going to throw it back to the lower courts. Like, they don't really want to rule on it. They're afraid of the MAGAs and of the current president. Okay. So that's what I see happening with that. Yeah, I did like 3 card readings on that already. So I feel like the Supreme Court throws it back on the lower courts. So it's state by state, and the states are already going to say, like, no, you can't do that. Okay. So that's good news. But before that happens, I saw this happening. I see now it should be everybody on it and standing up and speaking out, and we are, but because they are arresting brutally, just undocumented workers that aren't criminals. They're arresting people who have been here for 20 years or have children who are just trying to work at a job, who didn't get they go to court and they get arrested there for trying to fix their paperwork. I mean, it's just it's cruel and disgusting. And so raiding apartment buildings and Home Depot or whatever they're doing is just cruel. But when they start doing this to American citizens and big business, I see big business, the military is going, somebody with, and I don't believe this is all the military. I believe they're following orders, but some of them like this. But I see big executives, big money people being attacked and threatened by this current president. And that's when I feel like you're going to see some real bigger pushback than we're already seeing now, which it shouldn't be that way. We should all be equally, protected under the law. But, that's unfortunately, that's the way it is in our country. That's what brings me to what I want to say about a war. Are we in a civil war? Well, haven't we been in an information war for decades now? We're in a money war where certain class, like 1% of the population, is doing extremely well and everyone else is being pressured. That's a war. You're losing your health care, not being paid, being paid poverty wages. That's a war on us. We've been in this for a long time. And the reason that it's been allowed to continue, my guides tell me, is because we've lost sight of who we are. When did it become okay to lie, or, oh, those are just politicians? How did that become okay? A politician should be the most sacred job, that's protecting the people and serving the people. That's why we pay tax dollars to live in, and that's why people fought and died to live in a democracy. So when people are asking me in my comments, like, when is this going to end? When it ends is when enough of us wake up and realize that we've been sold on almost all things lies. It may start small. It may start with this, and that can't be okay anymore. If we want to create a world where ethics and truth and a good life for all matters, then we have to do that at all levels. We can't just fudge it around or do whatever, or say, yeah, they're just doing that. And then this happens and everybody's like, oh my God, yeah, oh my God, back it up. And I know that you're probably honest and you're ethical, but we have to start we have to make that not like a law, not telling people what to do, but I mean, if you could make it a law, that would be good. But almost like a standard of like, now the standard is set as whoever has the most toys wins. And it doesn't matter how you got it. So, or billionaires are so cool because they're successful. Maybe they scammed people. Yeah, some billionaires are legit. I'm not saying that. And it's okay if you have made money and you're successful. But hurting people and enslaving people and taking away their health care and trying to control them and saying that violence is okay and having it not a fair playing field has been going on for a long time. And that's the war that now we're seeing the results of. And when that changes, then we will enough of us wake up to the disinformation. Like, how can you just get up there and lie about healthcare or whatever? Remember they said Obama would be death panels. You're all going to die. Remember that? So, and why couldn't we get universal health care back then? Why are we paying more for our medicine here than any other country? This is happening in America because when I went in Europe, I saw that families really stuck together. There was a whole different vibe, a whole different feeling about caring about communities and each other. And we've lost that here through being successful or whatever. How is that successful? A life without meaning, an empty life, but you have more money. And that's where we've let our values slip. And we've ended up in a place where we have a crazy person up there because he lied and got in. Because people don't know the difference between a lie and a truth. And that's what matters. The truth matters. Okay, so enough of my lecturing. All right, so let's look at your questions here that you left on my post. Okay. When will he be removed? I understand. We have to think long term. They've been building up to this for decades. We have to think long term. He could be removed anytime between now and next spring or summer. His health is not good. But then you still have the 2025 people, the Project 2025, they're not going to be as bad without him there. So things will get better. But we have to be in this for the long haul. And we have to speak out for generations to come. It isn't about us anymore. And it is. Things will get better in our time. We will see better days. The end of October looks better. Next spring and summer look better. Okay? So I want to give you all a like when I answer your question here. Okay. Yeah, and people are saying the energy is very upsetting. Yeah, I know it is. You've got to take excellent care of yourself because this is going to be over. How are you going to be? If you get really stressed out or start eating junk food or do other things to try to change how you feel that aren't healthy habits, don't get proper sleep, do your breathing exercises, do your prayer, find what's good in your life, focus on your family, your immediate surroundings, your pets. Do something in the neighborhood that feels positive, or promise to say something nice to yourself every day. You gotta pull your energy in and really take care of yourself, because we're being traumatized on a national level, and realize we're all going through this, and that people are so angry and so afraid, and some people worse than others, but we've got to be there for each other. It call on your inner strength, call on your angels. I do every day. Walk me through this. You're going to do this. You have to. Okay? The only way out is through now. We have to do this. Let's see. Somebody's saying take a page out of the Lincoln Project playbook. Yeah, trolling him. Yeah, social media posts. That works. Yeah. Somebody's saying thank you. Oh, Will, here's a person that I don't like to say. His name starts with an S and last name starts with, is a Miller. Let's look at. Is he going to prison? I've seen him. Somebody said they did his chart and it was really dark, and then he looks like Goebbels or something from, I said a name, a nasty name. Cancel that energy. Woo. That he looks like one of them, and he has a past life as a war criminal in World War II. Okay, so that's where he's coming from, and a lot of these policies are coming from and through him. Like the current president, he doesn't really even want to be the president. He just wants to golf and make ballrooms and have lots of gold stuff and get in front of people and get lots of attention. He doesn't really want to govern or do it. He wants to make a lot of money for himself and his friends, but he wants to stay out of prison. He doesn't really want to pass policy or help people. He actually enjoys hurting people. He's a narcissist, a sociopathic narcissist. I believe he's demonic. That's me. I didn't think so before, but now I do. And my guides have showed me that. He's passed all the demonic tests, okay? So, but this Miller guy, what's going to happen to him? The law is coming for him. Because of money he made. We're going to be celebrating. He did a lot of crooked dealing. Yeah, the truth is coming for him. Okay? I don't know when. We have to think of the long game, and we have to stay in this and keep pushing back. I talked to Ruth Gator Ginsburg. She comes to me a lot, and she showed me, you got to keep pushing back. You got to keep pushing back. All right. Okay. Yeah, JD and Patel have beards. How is Canada going to be? I read on this before. I don't think he's going to be able to go for Canada, even though he wants to. I think he's going to try to start a war in Venezuela. And giving, of course, taking away health care and food stamps for people who need it in America, but give $20 billion to Argentina. Yeah, there you go. Make America broke again. Yeah, broke. And I don't tell you this to make you angry, but we need to know the truth. After you watch this, do some breathing, let it go, and go on with your day. Don't give away your power to these people. Even the Ukrainians, even though they're being bombed and their country's at war, they're still cooking and falling in love and having weddings and teaching their children. They know how to not give their power away. We have to do that here. If you sit around and stew, how long are you going to do that? And when are you going to do something to make your life or somebody else's better? How long are you going to be angry? 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 years, the rest of your life? Because we can't control what's going on, what's already happened. We can't change, but we can affect right now. We can do something now. Yeah, he's very unpopular as a president. Um, People are just saying, love the video, thank you. Yeah, I said he had a stroke. Somebody's saying that Newsom said he had a stroke. That's what I saw. All this is for entertainment purposes only. My thoughts and impressions. Okay. Yes on 50. Oh, was that really him that went to the motorcade? Yeah, he's still up and walking around. Yes, I feel like he had a major health incident and he's covering it up. So somebody's here saying that some people predicted a major health issue. I feel like he did and he's covering it up. Here's somebody talking about their medicines they can't afford. I don't know what illness you have, but if it's insulin, one thing you can do while you're taking insulin is stop eating carbs. Talk to an herbalist about getting some herbs to help to stabilize blood sugar. You can even Google that. I'm not saying instead of a doctor or your medicine, but there are things you can do to start improving your diet, your health in your diet, so that your blood sugar doesn't dip as much. And maybe at some point you get off insulin. But you have to listen to your doctor. I can't advise you to do that here. A lot of people can't believe what's going on. It is. Yes. Will we get rid of his cabinet? Well, JD will be in there. I feel like he makes a few changes. Some people will leave, but when JD Vance loses, we're going to get rid of all of them. And a lot of them will be in legal trouble. That's why they're fighting so hard and willing to terrorize people, because they know that their freedom is at stake from what they've done. Where do I see us in 4 years? Okay, I answered a lot of these questions. Somebody says giving people false hope was cruel. I don't think I'm giving you false hope. And I don't, okay, you're entitled to your opinion. I do see I think that it's really hard to read this stuff because you want to tell people positive news, but I have to be honest. And so I don't think I'm giving you a positive, shiny look here. I think we're barely going to make it. That means all of us need to be involved. Yeah, people waking up in the middle of the night. We've been traumatized. Breathe, try to relax, do some yoga, stop watching the news for a while if that's happening to you. This was a full moon today. It was intense. The energy's going to get better. We're going to be okay. Breathe and take care of yourself. Well, I still want to answer that question about, I feel like that's a good one for the ending. What do I see for us 4 years from now? Somebody keeps asking me about closed captioning. I've tried to do that. I don't know how to do that. If somebody has a YouTube channel and they want to send me the instructions on how to do that, I've asked YouTube. It's really hard to get a hold of somebody there, and I can't call them with everything. But I know there's something that you click on, but I don't see any other readers doing that. I mean, I think there's something you click on, but I don't see any other readers that do that. I don't know why. So I'm just not really sure. I'm not a technical person. Look, I'm very dyslexic. I frequently spell things wrong. I'm very psychic and intuitive. I have gifts of healing abilities and mediumship. Those are my gifts. I am not a technical whiz. I can barely do an email sometimes or post these videos. Obviously, I don't even, once I put one on pause and I lost the whole thing, so now I'm afraid to do that. I'm not a big production company. I don't have people working for me. I'm just a little local healer trying to help out. I know how to move energy. I know how to do what I do. But like I said, I'm very dyslexic. I spell things wrong. I make those kinds of mistakes. And so please forgive me. I don't really know where the closed captioning is. I'm also really busy with clients. And I'm going to be slowing down a little bit in November and December, hopefully, so that I have time to kind of look at some of these things. But in the energy world, you have to stay on top of your energy or it'll just overwhelm me. So I can't do that. I have to have really good boundaries with what I can do and what I can't do. And I'm fully busy and booked all the time. That's the other reason I haven't done the closed caption. So please forgive me. If I can figure it out easy, I'll pray about it. Hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. But I'm also wondering, like, if it's so easy to do, why doesn't other people have it? Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments. Why don't other big readers that are way bigger than me, they don't have closed, not even Midas Touch is just not even a psychic. They don't have closed captioning. So I don't know why. I don't see it much on YouTube. Okay. Probably I could do it easily if I could figure it out. And someone keeps saying translate to English. I don't know what you're talking about. I am speaking English, so I mean, maybe not using big words that are confusing. I don't know what you're talking about. So, all right. Let's look at what do the next 4 years look like, okay? And or where are we 4 years from now? And I'm hearing a song, a Stevie Wonder song, I Believe When I Fall in Love. Because once we go through this, things are going to be changed forever. So we're going to be looking at fixing our economy. And where is more money? Building on what we have. We're going to be fixing the economy. Okay. Show me, where are we in America 4 years from now? We could look at the whole world, but let's start with America. Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we've got a heavy load to push. We're pushing back. We've got to push back. That's what we're doing right now. We're pushing back for our democracy, fighting against that's what I said. This is all about misinformation and lies. Because most people are not prejudiced and bad people. They just get wrong information. This current president now isn't really even a Republican. I was talking to somebody and they said, oh yeah, I'm a Republican. And I was thinking afterwards, I'm like, wait a minute. He isn't even a Republican. All the Republican ideas that the party had before are out the window, decreasing the deficit, small government. They have like no government. They want like no laws, crime, safety. They say that, but they're not doing that. So most of this is just about the lies and the deception. And when you've had enough and you set your boundaries and you're looking at, I'm no longer accepting people or politicians or situations that are not in integrity. We have to start speaking up and setting boundaries and being strong. And you might be doing that already, but we need to do that in the public square, okay? So we're hoping to have some healing, some new starts. The past where what's going on now is behind us. Thank God. Karma, the energy will change. We can't stay in this forever. The energy will change. It is changing. It'll change at the end of this month. Something will happen. I don't know what that, I'll see when it's about to happen. We have Democrats coming in, people who are sharing and giving, okay? And it could also be good Republicans. You know, it doesn't have to be I think that most people, most of the population, whether you say you're a MAGA if you're not prejudiced and hateful and violent, but most people are just misinformed, and most people, we're not that far apart. We all want homes and education for our children and lower prices and affordable. We all want that. Whether you call yourself a red or a blue, it's the small percent of power grabbing, greedy people at the top that are stopping that from happening and dividing us. We have to stop being divided. A house divided falls. Now, you don't have to agree with what they're doing, but this has to stop. And it can't, because this says karma will change. Karma will come in. I don't know what I just did here. We were going to fight. Is this card go with that one? No, this card goes, I don't know how this popped into my hand. Dooter. Okay. Say it like laugh, watch a funny movie. Do something fun tonight. Celebrate. Celebrate that you're breathing. Celebrate that your pets and your kids are okay, or something, you know. That there's a better day coming. And so we are fighting back. The light will come. We will have victory. The light will come. The light is coming back. We will have change. We're going to go through some stuff in this country. We're going to go through some stuff that this old way of being, of corruption and dishonesty and cruelty and greediness is leaving. And in that rubble, we will find, in the destruction of this, we will find a new path forward, a new world. That's where I see us 4 years from now. Okay? All right. Thanks again for watching. And check out my spiritual videos on this channel. They'll help you to calm down and live better while we're going through this. And check out my members every other Saturday. And I do personal readings and healings there. I have a class coming up. Who were you in a past life? Check out my Who Were You in a Past Life video. I'll try to post that on the community page. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Sending you love. Bye for now.